A bottle of rum. YouTube was good. I am out in my old neighborhood. I really wish I had a sock over this thing. Let me see what I could makeshift real quick. So this is camera 1 that's now recording. Now I'm gonna switch on camera 2 with the makeshift windsock and recording now. Autofocus is off. It's manual focus, and I'm just gonna test out this windsock, see what I can make. So hold up. Here we go. Let's try this out. I'm back here in my old neighborhood. This is actually where I kind of grew up. You know, Formula 1 years. How about that? Ain't that a dope windsock? I made it out of my Oshkosh, Wisconsin wristband. It's actually made out of the foam covering from my shotgun mic. Bruh. But it was a cheap one. It fell apart and it doesn't work anymore, so I just used this for a windsock. But anyways, I just love this area. I love this location. Me and my dad are just here doing some random stuff. He ran into some issues with the trailer, so you know, he ran off. He left me here. He ditched me basically. So I'm just here, you know, making a little vlog video situation. The things that I like about this area, this location, is just how cool it is. Like in comparison to where I live now, and you know, because where I live now is more inner city, and over here it's a little bit more rural. It's so much more rural. It's so cool over here, and you know, just like growing up running around in the yard, I can't even do that anymore. Life just changed so much. The thing is, like, we moved away. Like, you see how small the house is. Like, we moved to a bigger house, and you know, we thought life was gonna be better because we had a bigger house. And I mean, it really wasn't, and I kind of miss this area a lot, actually. You know, I don't know, it grows on you. It's just like, I mean, look, isn't that pretty? That's a schoolyard over there. I just love this area. So like, considering the fact that we still own a lot of property here, what I'd like to do in the future is rebuild the area, because you know, it's kind of an old house. I think it was made in like the 1940s. I forgot what the word is, you know, like where you revitalize an area. I got like some crazy plans that I'd like to show off, like where things would go and how dope the place would be. So I'm gonna have to put down one of these cameras. Okay, that's not good. Okay, that's kind of good enough. The current house is 60 feet by 35 or something like that. 1 story, 8-foot ceiling. Well, it's the house I grew up in. It's just really nice. And then there's a shed out in the back. I don't even have a shed where I live now. It's not that type of neighborhood. Just look at all the plush greenery and stuff. I mean, like, yeah, I miss raking the leaves and all that. So actually all that goes into the design of the house that I want to like rebuild here. Actually, just taking everything into account. You know, there's a lot of traffic coming down this road, so it makes a lot of noise, and then you know, you don't have as much privacy. Me and my brothers, when we first grew up here, there was a lot more trees on the property. We actually cut down a whole lot of trees in this area, this part of Indiana. Further down that way, there's actually a lot of $1 million homes just because of the area. It's very nice. It's a seriously very nice area. This area is just like more suburban homes from like the late 50s or the early 40s or something like that. The house actually used to be a lot smaller, and it was renovated at some point, added on a garage. But no, like, my plans are completely crazy. So the house is just a 1-story, the yard, this is like, it's barely an acre. It's not even an acre. It's a very small property relatively, but in comparison to my current yard, I have a 3-car garage with like a really big driveway that spans essentially like that length of the house. But you know, that's about it. Versus here, you know, we could just pull in from the back street. This is a very dope location. These are like multiple driveways in between these trees here, and we got all this parking here, and we still have a shed, right? And this is just the backyard. We still have a front yard that has an actual garage. So it's a really dope location. So a lot of, you know, for me, I can see a lot of things happening here. There's a lot of potentiality in the area here versus where I live now. You know, it's a bigger house, and it kind of makes you think that it's better because it's newer. And you know, that's the other thing too. We built the house during construction. You know, I was much younger, and the whole time I was just thinking like, oh, we're gonna pick out our rooms, and we're gonna choose where the outlets are gonna go and stuff like that. But we had like a really detailed understanding of our own house, you know, which is kind of awesome, I guess you could say. I can be super thankful. Like, by the end of the day, I still find myself missing this area. So like down here, there's a lot of trees. I'm not even really sure what type of tree that is. But this tree over here, this is a crab apple tree, so technically it's edible. Just stuff like that. I mean, some of the trees down here are like, you know, they produce like edible fruits and stuff. Just so dope. I mean, I don't have that anymore. So like, we thought we were gonna get a nice house, brand new house, It's not old, it's not from the 60s, doesn't have carpet. And then like, we find ourselves missing that kind of rural. And then it's more inner city, so less parking. You know, you really have to be reliant on your driveway and your garage. Versus out here, it's a lot more rural, a lot more privacy. There's the downside of like having to rake up a whole ton of leaves and everything. But then again, you get like all this dope scenery with the trees and all that. Just looking over there at the neighbors, they got some dope trees. I don't even have that in my current neighborhood right now. Look at these pine trees. It makes the place look like a forest. Got the God rays coming through. Like this is Assassin's Creed or something. I mean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, 'cause that's my favorite video game of all time pretty much right now. Enough rambling about the area. For the most part, you get a basic understanding. There's a little bit of space on this side by the neighbors. Personally, I would prefer to have like even more space between the neighbors, so that way I could be like a nudist. And then on this side it's even less space, so that sucks. This area here, you know, just in the yard is just very plain. It's just grass, that's it. You know, there's like a few garden patches, you know, down there, way down there by the house. Through, you know, my grandmother used to like plant, you know, different fruits and vegetables. Like she literally used to do that. Yeah, that was like so awesome. Growing up here, we used to see like things in the backyard. We used to see like turkeys, wild turkeys, and what was it? Not emus. We used to see peacocks. Yeah, that was crazy. Turkeys, peacocks, just in the local area because it's like close to Michigan, kind of rural Michigan type animals. Nothing like bears or anything, which is very nice. Moose and deer. You don't get to see that in the inner city anymore, so very different lifestyle. We also used to think that it was going to be better being closer to like areas downtown, being closer to the city, but it's not worth it. It's actually not worth it. But anyway, let's get into my crazy ideas that I have for the future. Sorry, my lips are dry. My hands look ridiculous right now just because it's cold outside, and plus I have like dry water, you know, so, I mean hard water. Dry water. Man, I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. When we were younger, our dad told us like, oh, we're gonna build a house. And so we started looking into magazines and we got the wrong idea. Before we realized that we were actually broke and we couldn't really afford a dream home. We just built a cheap house. I'm not trying to knock it or sound ungrateful or anything. It's just that being a kid and not thinking realistically, we went through all kinds of emotions. It was something else. I used to look at magazines, so I know a lot about houses and you know, what looks good, what I actually want from what I don't want. I always thought about the perfect location to like build my own house or a dream house or something like that. I don't feel like this is the place to build my dream house personally, but I love the property and I'd like to revamp it. That's really what it is. So this is within code and everything, so don't think it's too unrealistic. It's actually very realistic. I'd like to basically come back here with like maybe $1 million or so, nothing too crazy. It's about $1 million. I probably don't even really need $1 million for this build. Hold on a second, let me get up here. Oh, can't because my pants is too tight. Let me just start over here. All right. Yeah, so basically like to come back here with like $1 million, nothing too crazy. Tear this whole place down and do a rebuild. Tear down the shed and everything. Basically keep the same area that the house takes up on the property. Expand it in the front yard about 10 feet, maybe not too much, so that the driveway is shorter. What it does is it reduces the amount of grass that I have to cut because I am very lazy and I have less grass in my current residence, but I still don't like cutting grass. I would definitely put that into my design. I want to keep the front looking kind of plain, at least for the most part, because the back is where things really get crazy. If we go over here, I don't really want to go to the front yard because I don't want people, my old neighbors to see me, to know that I'm actually like this big old YouTuber and I'm actually like a celebrity and all this stuff. But yeah, again, like, look at that. I mean, I love this neighborhood. It's so awesome. So like on the side of the house, right, there's this little extension that comes off. I'll just like come up a little closer. There's like this little extension here. Check this out. There's like part of the house. It's part of the design of the house. It just comes out a little bit. Okay, that's very weird. That is a chicken. There's a chicken in the street. That's a cat. That's normal. That is a chicken. Look. Bruh. That's a chicken. I don't know what is happening, but that is definitely a chicken. That's not normal. That's gotta be a pet. Look, look over there. There's a chicken. Look. Bruh. Oh my gosh, that cat is dumb. I hate cats. I don't understand the chicken right now. It's weird. Anyway, there's a part of the house that actually just comes out a bit. And it's like not built, which is weird. But that is like incentive for me to build the rest of the house outward over here. You see, it just makes the house bigger, but again, there isn't that much room here. So the house can come out over here a little bit, but not too much. Hey, little guy. Hey. I don't really have anything. What's good with you? Anyway, so yeah, I would just totally like extend out the house a little bit, and you can see the front yard. Yeah, it's not anything too crazy, but yeah, the thing about building codes is you want everything to be the same, at least, you know, here in Indiana. So as we move towards the back, what you'll notice is, okay, for the back, what I'd like to do is like bring out the back at least another 10 feet. So it's 10 foot in the front, about 5 foot on the side, and 10 foot in the back. It's just one story, and then it has an attic. There's no real upstairs. Also, there's no basement. So what I like to do is make a basement. And again, okay, that is weird. That is so weird. There's more than one chicken. There's actually 3 chickens. I've never seen chickens here. So, no, there's 3 chickens and 2 cats, and they're in my yard, and I don't really understand what's going on, but somebody's chickens have clearly gotten out, or these are wild chickens that are native to Indiana. I'm not quite fully, hopefully they're loyal chickens, and they will go back to their owner, and they're not afraid of me either. And they fly.
Surprise, mother.
And they're flying chickens. This is rather intimidating, and they're coming even closer. Totally unscripted. Okay. Yeah, this is weird, but my dad's back, so I'm going to have to continue this later. But surprise ending. I met some chicken friends. I'm going to call you Larry. I'm going to call you Peep. I'm going to call you Chirp. All right, guys. Pleasure meeting you. Peace out, guys. Stay wild. Be brave. See you on the next one.